Hello, YouTube viewers. We're headed to port from HaLong Bay, and we are I just came back from kayaking at a pearl farm, which was kind of fun. I'm just writing out a Twitter tweet to hopefully get some live stream viewers, or some viewers in here on the live. So I'm just trying to type properly. And I'm almost done. Okay. Getting there. Done. Hopefully that'll bring in some people in the chat. So there are a lot of these limestone outcrops, and I believe the way that legend has it is that HaLong Bay is a kind of a nursery for mother dragons and their baby dragons. And as you can see, all these raised humps from the water are basically different variations of dragons in repose or baby dragons sort of growing into their own. So this is a slow meandering I guess journey back to HaLong Bay, so there's no hurry about it. I think we're expected to be there around noon. I'm gonna see what time it is. It is only 5 after 10 in the morning. So there's that. And later today, I believe I'll be taking a bus to Katba Island for a couple of days. So I have never been, and hopefully I will be forewarned. Oh look, there's a hovering bird. I wonder if it's a fishing bird or if he picks off small mammals from these little outcrops. You can tell he's searching for something. Had the wind conditions been differently in the last 12 hours or so, I might have taken my drone out and launched it from this boat just to look around, but the gusts and the winds are too strong, so there's too much danger. It's not good to fly. So I had to scrap that idea. But had it been still, little to no winds, then yes, it would have been interesting to see HaLong Bay from an aerial point of view. We'll just have to do it someplace else. But I certainly prefer this tour of HaLong Bay compared to the one I did in 2020, where it was raining all that day, and the day cruise seemed a bit rushed. Now that I compare the two, here we just kind of meander at a slower pace, and it just seems more fitting to the environment as opposed to getting from one place to another very quickly, and it just feels like you're being processed in order to get ready for the next group, as it were. Or if it's a one-day thing, well, they need to get you back within a certain hour, and so it kind of affects your experience. So you can see there is all kinds of limestone. Hey, good morning, Chris. How are you doing? So this is HaLong Bay, and guess what? I made a mistake, as I sometimes often do. I guess I have something called selective hearing, or I know what I wanted and I know what I asked for, but I didn't really pay attention to what I got. I was under the impression that I had 2 nights, and that's what I had the impression that I had bought, but it turns out I have 2 days, not 2 nights. And so I just had the 1 night in my room that I believe I gave a tour of, and now my room has already been, I guess, overnight guests, in the sense that we're slowly heading into port, but all of my luggage and everything is packed and probably already shifted on over to the tender. Yes, oh, he says, yes. So we're meandering back. So earlier today, I went to visit a pearl farm, and they had kayaking in and around the pearl farm. So I had a kayak partner who was in front, and I managed in the back. And I had my GoPro with that special case that can go in water, and so of course it was strapped to my wrist or to my hand. So the kind of like this kind of stuff motion is part of the the whole video, as it were. But there are moments where you just kind of have you can freeze frame, and you might be able to splice, a lot of splicing, a lot of editing. But at least there's that, so it's a little bit breezy, and last night there was an opportunity to fly my drone just from that little green spot. I would have had to have moved the deck chairs, but it was karaoke night, so it was beyond past 10, and the boat was walking to and fro. Yes, it was. So it just didn't, that was the only window, because right now it's too gusty, too windy to take the drone to fly, so it's a non-thing. But I'm going to Cat Ba Island for 2 days. At least I know for sure I have 2 days booked. But I don't know what I'm going to do on Cat Ba Island. There's like, you can rent a bicycle, you can do a number of things. So I might use like the little time that I have here to prepare myself to determine what kind of activity I want to do today, as opposed to finding out, oh, had I known an hour or two earlier, that thing wouldn't have been already booked, or something to that effect, because that's how it works. Timing is everything, and knowledge really can go a long way if you go to the trouble to really, so you learn your lessons, and you try to maximize where you are, when you are, yada yada yada. Kind of like that little hook in the so all of these formations have stories, and from what I'm told, there are families that live their entire lives on boats, and in the rainy season, and they only get like they only come to shore for certain reasons, and their kids don't go to school, and they could be as many as 6 on a little boat, and this is like normal. So it's a very odd idea. I can hear a low plane here. It's a very odd idea to think a family can like totally live on the water and hardly ever need to come ashore. But apparently it's a thing. And these, them, there are parts. So where's that plane? Let's see. Yeah, there he is. Look at that. So he can land on the water. Cool. It's a double prop, I could tell from the sound. Or maybe no, it's a single prop. I don't know. I'm not a plane guy. So at this point, you know, it's getting gusty, so I don't want my iPhone to land in the water or something like that, and my bag isn't going anywhere. So everything's pretty well tethered down. You can see the pontoons. Yes. That much we do know. So it might have been a single prop with pontoons. There you go. Because I was looking at the wings and it didn't look like there were twin props on it. But I feel safer when you have two as opposed to just the one. That's me, I guess. I don't know. So there's some boats in the distance. Why don't we use the zoom? Because look, it's like the finger. You spread the finger and you can do. I prefer this kind of zoom than the one on HeLong, but I do like the fact that you can really zoom in close on HeLong, but it's a smoother action. I guess it comes from the periscope training, you know, and I wish Simon would add that to his app. So it's a bit hazy and a bit windy, but still the sun is somewhat warming us up. Like when you are still for a moment, you can feel the warmth of the sun, and there's no real threat of rain coming down on us. So basically this feels like a goodbye because, well, Kapa Island is the extremity of HaLong Bay. You agree the zoom is easier with the pinching? Yes, I just did it. You see we can go in and smoothly, and then we can go out smoothly and make it, you know, with practice you can make it cinematic. Hello Liliang, how are you doing? It's nice to see you again. So I guess my Twitter, I don't know if you got it from Twitter or if you got it from YouTube, but I try to send out, you know, it's my 14th anniversary on Twitter. So hello. Lily, are you in Japan? Because I'm trying to keep track of, you know, your conversations with MJ, and I have a feeling you're from Japan, and MJ of course is from Taiwan, where I've been for 2 weeks. And you guys kind of trade off on cultural things of interest, which is fun because I can sort of pick up information vicariously through the both of you. So yes, we're in HaLong Bay and I am going back out again, but yeah, hi, I'm good, thanks. I watch you sharing many beautiful photos. Thank you. Oh, you're from Taiwan. I wasn't sure. I thought maybe you were from Japan, but yes. I went for my first visit from January 17th to February 1st. I went for my first visit in Taiwan, and from the get-go, MJ really helped me a lot to make really good choices and maximize my time there. And I have to say, I got to see many cities. I didn't just stay in Taipei. I got out and I went to Kaohsiung and I went to a lot of other places, and I got to participate in traditional lunar ceremonies, you know, to honor the Jade Emperor and a few other deities, and I really appreciated that experience. Yes, Lily, technically I'm alone, but when you're in the room with me and Chris is here and other people on my live stream, I'm not alone, am I? So I do have like a sort of an internet posse. So on one hand, I am traveling solo, but on the other hand, I'm accompanied almost every day when I go live. So it's sort of in between, you know? Because I do like to have company and to share like what I'm showing you. Exactly, I'm not alone. I'm not alone, and you are with me here in HaLong Bay. So in a way, you're kind of traveling without having to get out of your sofa, which I always found a cool thing about live streaming and travel live streaming. Like you can smell the ocean here. I would expect from the images that you're seeing. You know what it smells like. It smells nice. Yes, exactly. That's how it feels. It feels very tranquil, very peaceful. Well, is that a fact? Or are you actually traveling at this very moment? Aren't you in HaLong Bay with me? I would say, yeah, pretty close. There's not much difference from where I'm sitting and where you're sitting. Look at that. Isn't that cool? So later this afternoon we're going to be on Cat Ba Island, which is at the very end of HaLong Bay. And there are a number of things that one can do on Cat Ba. So I'm probably going to go live maybe around 4 o'clock or so, my time, which I think is an hour later in Taiwan. Well, some of them are fishing boats. There are families that live on small boats, like for a large part of the year in the rainy season. And some of them are commercial trawlers, like they're transporting, you know, because this is a port. And then some of them are cruises because of it's so pretty here that there's a huge industry. You know, imagine all the Chinese tourists that want to go and do a day cruise or a 2-day cruise or a 3-day cruise here in HaLong Bay, or Koreans, because they come. And right now it's just like international tourists, you know, like European, American, but look at how many boats. A lot of them are, you know, this boat here probably with the 3 decks probably can have as many as 40 people on it. And then the boat that I'm on has about 20. We have about 20 guests. And that one over there probably also has about 20 guests. So depending on the size of the boats, like these ones here are all like 20 guest boats. So some of them are for charter, you know, like you buy an overnight stay, and I think some of them you can have like a 2-night stay. And so there's a whole mix. Like this here, this is not a charter boat. This is obviously a transport boat, so they're transporting something from one place to another. And in these, by that way, there is a pearl farm where they commercially farm pearls. So there's a lot of activity in this part of Vietnam. See, I think this is over here. I think that's like we're coming into land now. We're not far from where we're going to port, where we're going to disembark. So it's making me feel sad, but I'm not going to be too sad because I'm going out to Cat Ba Island, which apparently is it is like a top thing to do if you are visiting Vietnam and you're in HaLong Bay. Apart from doing what I'm doing right now, which is a cruise boat, the other thing that you should do is go to Cat Ba Island. So yeah. See this, the Amanda, that's a cruise boat there, and this other boat, this is like a commercial boat. I'm not sure what it does, but it's obviously a working boat. And you see every boat has a little tender, so you can leave and go to other places with this little transport boat. And there are families that also live on smaller boats. And I'm told that, you know, the government doesn't pay for their schooling. So some of them don't get to go to school. They just, you know, if they make enough money, I guess it's up to the parents if they're going to send them to school. Yeah, Chris, it looks like a freighter, and that's a barge, right? Yes, right. There are a set number, depending on the size of the boat. There are a set number of guests, and as you can see, there are many boats, many cruise boats, and that doesn't even include the potential from all of the Chinese tourists, because they haven't really started coming in yet. But that would mean like there would be more boats and more, you know, activity, and it would probably be very busy. So I'm kind of glad things are very kind of slow and meandering. So yesterday we went to visit a very tall outcropping, and there was caves inside the little hill. And you can see the diagonal. You see how the sedimentation, obviously it was turned this way and somehow it got moved, because you can see all the layers are on a diagonal. So a long time ago, maybe millions of years ago, something forced these sediments to come out of the water, but at a different angle. They were no longer level. So this was something that I really did want to do, and I didn't want to make too many mistakes. And I did make a small mistake, and I wasn't really paying attention to what I was buying. I wanted to have a 2-night stay over, and what in fact actually happened is I just had 1 night on this boat. And I have to say, I assume it's because I was a little too much in a hurry to get things processed, and I thought I was getting what, the English as a second language is very challenging, and in Taiwan it's the same thing. You can get, it's hit or miss with English, right? Yes, well, it's funny because further down I wasn't getting a signal, but because you get interference. But you're correct. Actually, the cellular signal in Vietnam, whether you're in the extreme south or in the extreme north, is pretty good. I use Viettel. Also, we're having lunch, so maybe I'll introduce you to some of my guests. And that's another thing. Whenever you are mixed with people that you don't know, you never know how you're going to get along, and you share, everything together, and generally that makes a bond. Like you experience things, and then people feel like, even though they only are together for a short time, you have this connection. And sometimes you kind of say, oh, I wish I could meet these people again, or and then other times you get people where that you really rub them in the wrong way, and they might look at you funny, because that happens. But luckily, I think we have a good group. I like my group. So now I have to navigate the stairs. So I have my bag, and I'm just going to be very careful with the stairs, because I've been doing pretty good so far. I have some muscle problems with my legs from dehydration. So I've learned my lesson to keep drinking water, and you can avoid accidents. So we're gonna have lunch. I'm late to the table. Apparently, I'm always late, but it doesn't matter. You're welcome. So this lady, we went kayaking together. Lily is from Taiwan. I have a friend from Taiwan.
I'm from Taiwan.
Oh, are you? Okay.
I'm Vietnamese because
Yes.
I'm married Taiwan.
Ah, so you're married to a Taiwan, and yeah,
Today I am from Taipei.
from Taipei. Okay, I was in Taiwan for 2 weeks. And Lily I know from, see, hello, Lily says hello, Lily Yang.
Welcome Taipei.
Thank you so much. So we're gonna eat because I'm holding up dinner. Oh, look at this. Do we serve ourselves, or they come and serve us? I'm on a live stream. Okay, so I want to introduce you. So Lily and Chris. Oh, really? All right. Lily's from Taiwan. She's not that scary.
But I don't want to be a part of that. Sorry.
Okay. So anyways, we got to go because we're upsetting some guests, and we don't want to upset guests. So thank you for coming in, and
I don't know which book I ate.
I'm going to be going live on Cat Island.
Okay, we can use